And the row over Gaza goes beyond trade and politics, spilling tonight into the arts as well. For the past 8 years, the Tricycle Theatre in London has played host to the UK Jewish Film Festival, which is partially funded by the Israeli embassy. Now the theatre has said that due to the sensitivity of the conflict, the theatre's board had taken the decision not to host the festival under its current sponsorship arrangement. They aren't saying no to the festival, nor to Jewish films. They are just saying no to Israeli government funding. But the move has brought a wave of criticism. The lawyer, Philippe Sands, is a board member of the Tricycle Theatre, and Simon Johnson is the chief executive of Jewish Leadership Council. They join me now. Philippe Sands, if I may begin with you, the conflict, as we hear, has been going on for years on and off, and the festival itself has been running at the Tricycle for 8 years.
Yeah.
What's different today? What's different this year?
Well, it's not actually this year. It was the moment at which it came to deal with the publicity which arose in the midst of this current conflict. The Tricycle is deeply proud of the association with the film festival. We hope the UK Jewish Film Festival will still be held this year at the Tricycle Theatre in Kilburn. Why did this happen? I don't know if you've been to the Tricycle. It's in Kilburn. It's a mixed community. We have all views. And the situation had arisen last year that already there were protests. We were willing and happy to tough it out. We want the festival to continue at the theatre. But this year we took the view that right now putting a logo, for example, of the Israeli embassy in London on the festival material would be taken by some people as an incitement and a provocation. So we asked that the issue of Israeli government funding be reviewed. We have offered ourselves to make up the shortfall as a sign of our commitment to have the festival. And the view was taken by the Jewish Film Festival that they did not wish to do that. They've adopted, as I understand it, a position of principle. You accept that the Jewish Film Festival is supported by the Israeli government or we don't come. That was the situation we found ourselves in.
Simon, is that a position of principle to you?
The Jewish Film Festival is a wonderful celebration of Jewish culture. It's a major bridge builder towards positive interfaith relations within London. By the Tricycle
Theatre, to stop the festival, are they?
By the Tricycle Theatre giving the Jewish Film Festival a ditch the embassy ultimatum, effectively putting itself in the position of trying to determine what is or is not Jewish culture, then unless they're going to take exactly the same approach to any government that funds any particular film that is or event that's put on at the Tricycle Theatre, I'm afraid that this looks to most people in our community as though it is a discriminatory boycott.
Can you think of another example? Can you cite another sort of government-funded project that they should also be objecting to?
But what the Tricycle Theatre has done here is it's tried to look at Jewish culture through the prism of its opinion of Israeli government policy. It is as though if you are holding an Islamic film festival, you would look at it through the prism of perhaps the actions of the Syria government.
Well, only if the Syrian government was funding the festival.
But what they've done is effectively given an ultimatum, and they've said that if you will ditch the embassy, then you can continue. But the indelible link between Jewish culture and the nature of Israel is the point of principle. It's not for others to decide what is Jewish culture.
So you can't criticise Israel without maligning Jewish culture.
But what I want to know
is that what you're saying?
Of course you can criticise Israel. But what I'm saying is I'm wondering what they think they're trying to achieve. I think that what's happening is that they are trying to adopt their opinion of the position of a foreign government on a foreign conflict and to try and interpose it into multi-faith, multicultural Britain. And the only people who suffer through that, because this is the Jewish Film Festival, it's not some propaganda arm of the Israeli government. There are films that are hugely critical of Israel, that show all sides of the argument, that by boycotting in this way, or threatening to boycott in this way, then what they're doing is they are interposing their view of the conflict and trying to impose that.
Philippe Sands, I think the Tricycle gets £725,000 off the Arts Council, which is the British government, which arms still Israel. So why don't you ban any involvement of productions at the Tricycle that are paid for by the British government.
Let me answer that in a moment, but first let me say this. Simon, I think, is a lawyer. Facts are important. He's made allegations that don't exist. What has the Tricycle done? The Tricycle has simply said, whilst this conflict is in the current situation, and we have made very clear to the Jewish Film Festival, the situation may be different in 3 weeks, or in 5 weeks, or in 8 weeks. It's not a never deal with this Israeli embassy issue. We will revisit the situation. What have we actually done? We've said on the Tricycle board, we won't take funding from any party involved in the conflict. If there was funding from the Palestinian Authority, if there was funding from Hamas, we would also not accept our association with that. But more to the point, we have drawn a distinction between associating with the political arms of a state, the diplomatic representation, embassies on the one hand, and film funding. We've said, the films you want to play, it's up to you. If something is funded by the Israel Film Fund, that's a matter for you. That is an artistic and cultural thing. What the Jewish Film Festival is trying to do is associate, and it's just been confirmed by Simon, with the political arm of Israel. Jewish is one thing, Israel is another, and they've mixed it, and that's unfortunate. But it's not discriminatory, and it's most certainly not a boycott.
There is a Jewish gentleman on the board of the Tricycle. There is the artistic director of the National Theatre, Nicholas Heitner, who is himself Jewish and has come out in support of the Tricycle's decision. So it's not as simple as saying this is an attack upon Jewish culture when Jewish people are involved in the decision to reject the funding.
It's not clear to me what they're trying to achieve by doing this.
Well, I'll tell you, the artistic director has stated that no money from any government agency involved in the current conflict will be used to stage productions at this theatre,
as long as that, if that's applied to all funding from all governments at any time...
She's categorical that it is, well, in the current conflict.
If that's the case, all funding at any time from any government, if that's what they're prepared to do, then it's not discriminatory. But it isn't. And if they believe that this is going to have any impact on the ability to achieve a just, lasting and permanent agreement between Israel and the Palestinians, which people in the Jewish community fervently want to achieve,
except the ones in favour of the Tricycle Act.
Then trying to put conditions upon the way that Jewish culture is expressed is not the way.
Thank you very much.